Alright, another day done. I'm going over the field now. I'm going to go home and get me 10mm and my feeler gauges, and I'm going to do Charlie's tappets for him, so valve clearances. So then, valve clearances, WLT, intake when cold, 0.05mm to 0.15mm, so mid limit's 0.1, and then exhaust is 0.15 to 0.25, so mid limit's 0.2, and that's between the cam and the rocker. So the rocker's on these pivot one side, valve's the other, and the cam's in the middle. So that clearance at the valve tip will actually be double that. But the spec you need to worry about is between the camshaft. Start off with, you want to take that off, which is just a clip, nice easy pliers on that. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, obviously 12. Whip that off, don't go getting shit in there. There's a profile gasket around there, but you should be able to lift it off without damaging that. Not unless you're an absolute loony. So once we've pulled that off, I'll get the camera again and I'll show you what we've got to do. So give that a wiggle, get rid of that. And then you might have to give her a little bit of a love tap to get her off, if she's been on there a while. So she's going to need a bit of a love tap. Are we going to swap her for mine, are we? Nice.
What's crack?
The crack. Oh, here we go. She's coming. Now, I'm not too fussed about this gasket because we're going to swap it apparently, but obviously it'd be better if we didn't. Mine's been off, well, obviously it's sat on that other engine for a while, but it was on and off regular, obviously, because it was mine. Come on, I know you want to come. There we go. Old gasket, I think.
That's the foot crack. That's garden leaf.
Right, so when you pull that rocker cover off, the thing that keeps that profile gasket in there is obviously like the width of it, and then these little sleeves that go on the bolts. Just show you that once I get it back in.
Hey James?
Each bolt's got a sleeve which then goes into that rubber. Yes, Charlie?
Are you sure you know what you're doing? I have heard you flew this.
No, mate. I mean, I'm just guessing, really.
Right, okay.
Don't worry, I'm just guessing. It's cool, it's cool. We've done alright so far, just guessing, so. Fuck knows what I'm going to do when it comes to engine rebuild time. I might have to ask some Facebook mechanics.
Yeah?
I might have to ask some Facebook mechanics.
What about putting 2.6 petrol in? Do you think you can do that?
You fancy it?
Yeah.
Won't be very powerful though.
No?
Nah.
What about one?
So just sat that down there, sit it upside down so you don't put any grass or anything on there. 2.6 turbo, I think some people have done it. 2.6 is a 16 valve, a G6 motor, and I think it's time and chain on that. But I don't know what else it came in.
No.
Because obviously Mazda's are 1.8s and 2 litres and 1.6s and all that. But what is interesting is, late MX-5 like Mum's has got a Fiesta engine in it. Z-Tech 1.8 I think.
Alright.
Well, apparently it's a Fiesta engine, but not a Fiesta engine if you get me. It's got a Mazda fucking plastic cover on it.
Alright.
But the Bellhausen pattern is the same petrol Bellhausen pattern as all the others. So potentially you could put a Fiesta engine in an MX-5 or an MX-5 engine in a Fiesta.
Oh, wow.
Let's have a look then. Short shifters.
Boom, boom,
Oh look, it's not hitting the tunnel anymore. So he's got a mega short shifter on a transfer and a normal short shifter on the 5-speed, but that's going to be changed out any minute now.
When I can find the right fucking Allen key.
Oh, you want a 5mm?
I know, I ain't got nothing long in it.
You want to borrow mine?
Have you got one?
Yeah, I'll get it.
What an you fancy it?
I fancy it. Do you want my rusty 5mm that I left out in the rain the other day?
I do fancy it. Did you ever find that other bit?
Other bit? That went flying. What bit?
The 17mm or whatever it was.
Hey?
Your 17mm socket. Did you?
Oh, what, off my bumper?
Yeah.
No, I bought another one.
How much was it?
£7 or something.
Oh, got some cash.
I got a trade card, so it's probably like £6.
Wow.
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 I'll get you some cash.
Show us this short shifter then when you pull it out. Show us what it's all about.
Well, basically, some clueless moron made this for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know if you've heard of him before.
No, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't hang around with people like that if they don't have a clue what they're doing.
He's on the forum a lot. He sells breather kits at an extortionate price to...
Nah!
Yeah.
What a greedy bastard.
Yeah, he's a right really bastard. Sells at an extortionate price and just rips people off.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but if there's a bloke on there called Ben. He can get you some for, I think it's £12, full breather kit. So I'd go to him if I was you.
Roger to the Dodger. Let's have a look at that then.
I want that clip because that's the new one.
Charlie's going to put his bush, his new old bush, off of there.
Go on, you bastard! Fucking hell.
Do you think we might have bent that when we had the whole weight of the cab on the gear stick?
Ooh, I think we may have just lost the bolts. I think we must have bent it.
Look at the end. The bush end. That looks like it's had a bit of force on it.
Yeah.
But anyway, when you get one that ain't bent...
Yeah, I think that got bent.
Yeah.
Don't you?
So that's a standard stick that's been modified. There's been a few mil added into it. And then that spacer that Charlie's just dropped somewhere.
Was this supposed to be in there?
Yeah, that goes in the bottom.
Like
so
that.
greasy. Right, so when you're doing a short shift, you'll have one of my mega short shift housings. And what you can do, put this little wave washer, pop that in the bottom, and then you get a bush.
Hairy one.
No, clean better. Put it so the notch is underneath that dowel pin, and then you wanna, might take 2 hands to do this. Oh, I think she's going. Push that down in the bottom. She's nearly there. And that basically supports the bottom of that ball.
That's fucking solid. I replaced this when I've done the gearbox.
Oh, alright. So then you've got my housing with the wave washer and the bottom bush, and that wave washer acts as a spring for that. I don't know if you can see that. Got a bit of give in it. And then simply put, you drop that on top of the gearbox. You take all the gubbins out the top of that turret on the gearbox. You drop that on top with the bush in, and then you take your 5-speed stick, which has already got a bush on the top of it, obviously. Charlie's adding a lot of grease on his to keep it waterproof. And then you drop that on top, which obviously the ball sits in here, and you've got the other bush that sits on top. That kind of cradles that ball and stops it from lifting out, and it's it's a spherical bearing basically. And then you've obviously got that on top of your 5-speed stick that bolts the whole lot down because it's got a gasket on it and a flat plate. And then you sandwich the bolts between the turret seal, the mega shift, and your gearbox.
Fucking hell. Brother.
You know what you want to do with that?
You want to put a banging donk on it?
Show us your short shift then, Charlie. Go on, 3rd to 4th. Not a lot. And then transfer. 4 low, 4, 2. That's not in 2, but yeah. 4 low. So we've got the rocker cover off. This is the first time I've had the rocker cover off this engine. And the lobes don't look too bad. They don't look too bad. So better than a load of broken rockers. Oh yeah, it does. So let's have another look. So obviously this engine's done about 80,000 now.
Not even that, man. I got it at 70 and I don't even think I've done 10,000 with it.
No, they look pretty good. So 75,000, something like that.
75 probably.
Yeah.
What do you think? It didn't go anywhere because the gearbox was quite good, wasn't it?
Yeah, true. What had the original done? About 180?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously if this was an 8 valve you'd be using the rule of 9. It's a 12 valve, but in essence it really is only an 8 because there's 2 exhaust valves operating at the same time. All I do, spin it on the alternator with a 24mm socket till the lobes are pointing up, and if the lobes are pointing up, you know you can do your tappets. Let's go do that. So I'm going to go get a 0.1 feeler gauge and a 0.2 feeler gauge. 0.1 for intake, what should be those, 0.2 for exhaust. TV show. So, I don't know if you can fucking see that in the light. I can't see it, to be fair. Ah, there we go. 0.1, yeah, you probably can't see that. And 0.2. So let's do it. So, coming from this side. Fuck. They've tightened up a bit.
You what?
They've tightened up a bit.
What
Valve clearances. Just a bit. I can't get a 0.1 in the exhaust, which is below spec, and I can't get a 0.1 in the intake, which is middle of spec. So I'm going to go get an 05 and see what they're at. So yeah, intake's at 05, exhaust about 0.1 or less than 0.1. It might be that some idiot's gone here and set them all to 05. I don't know. So yeah, intake definitely 05, bottom end of spec. Let's put that to middle. I'm not happy with that being that close, especially if it comes down anymore. Right. So you can sort of rock the rocker as well whilst the feeler gauge is in there and see if there's any extra movement, which is not. So you know you're close. All of those intake lock nuts up, and as sort of a check of it all, we'll go through them all again. Yep. 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 I'm kind of cheating here because I'm doing 2 at once, even though the lobes aren't pointing up, but yeah. So let's turn it over and do 2 and 4. So we know our clearances hasn't moved. Time for exhaust. I'm just going to go over it with this and snug them, and that one's going to have to be, oh no, Just about get that one. Tucked towards on the floor. Still good, yeah? Still good. That one's just about coming down. This one's on it. Alright, ready? Still good. Still good. So that's intake and exhaust. They're done. So now it's just a case of making sure this is clean, because that's where your seal is going to go. And bolting down the rocker cover, making sure that the profile gasket is up underneath in that lip, and that you haven't lost any of the sleeves, because obviously the sleeves go through the valve cover into this rubber profile gasket, and there's a little dome washer on top. So keep all them intact. But otherwise, she's done. Charlie just needs to go over to my other Mark II engine and pikey the rocker cover using a 10mm. Car off on the exhaust, but the intakes were well tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
So what would that do to the engine if the intakes are too tight?
If they go too tight, totally, your valves won't actually close fully. And if there's an exhaust, it'll burn out the seat. If there's an intake, it'll lose compression. It'll just fucking be down on power.
Aye.
Yes.
So would that?
So if you
would that have put that down a little bit on power?
Depends how hot they got, because obviously the valve stem expands, and that's what that clearance is for.
Aye.
But yeah, I've heard of them. If people set them too tight and then it warms up, the valves grow a little bit, and it basically floats the valves, and it won't run when it's hot.
Oh really?
Yeah. If some Charlie's done them. Charlie as in Charlie, not Charlie Charlie. Any shit in there?
There's a little bit of shit in there.
Is there? Lick it, see what it tastes like.
It tastes like oil.
Oh, notice we're not listening to any Justin Bieber.
Not like Ben.
Oh, get that out of there, a bit of sealant.
Get that bit.
Get that out of there.
There is a bit of spunk in there.
Is there?
Yeah, a bit of fucking.
Gasket sealant.
No.
Is it grey?
Oh, hang on.
It might be from the oil filler.
I think that's pitted.
Top tip.
It looks like, if you look in there, it looks like the little shards just next to that bolt. Can you see?
Yeah, but
I
that's the casting.
Yeah.
So top tip, the bongos don't have a filler cap on the rocker cover. They've got plain rocker cover, and in this little blanking plate here, there's like a little 45° with oil cap, because it's the same engine. So let's go rob the other rocker cover, the shiny one.
The shiny one.
And we're going to get an extra 50 horsepower just from putting this shiny rocker cover on.
50? You told me 120.
Nah, it's 400.
Yeah, I thought it's about 400 brake you can push out of these, isn't it? 4 to 500?
I thought it was 600 to be fair. Water fire's going even better. Look, we've got it all. Fire, the moon, the freight, the trucks.
Shall we go see what's in the China?
Charlie, you didn't bring any beer.
I've got beer, mate.
Oh yeah?
I've always got fucking beer.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Choo choo, motherfuckers.
Welcome.
It better not be a warm one though.
To my beer den. And she's cold.
She's cold. Cheers.
Oh, so I decided, James,
Yeah.
I'm going to do my roof lining.
Oh my fuck. You could have done that when you had the roof liner out. You're not, are you? You're not.
Yeah.
Oh
I couldn't get a
God.
fucking Confederate flag, I couldn't get an American flag, and I couldn't get an English flag that were big enough to do this roof. The whole roof. They
Yeah.
weren't extortionate.
So you got a bed sheet.
I got a bed sheet of the outer space and thought, oh, that looked kind of funky. Better than the fucking oil that's already on it.
So yeah, top tip, after you put the headliner in,
Then you strip it back down, and then you fit that.
fuck's sake.
That might never get fitted now.
We like
Just
doing
saying
things the
back.
hard way, don't we? Just like the winch bumper and all the other stuff. And the respray and... It's all afterthoughts, man. We ain't got a fucking clue.
To be fair, all we were going to do was spray the fucking chassis and bolt it all back together.
Originally.
If we would have just done that, it would have been done by now.
It would have been a month job, not a 3-month job.
Not a 3-month job, fucking stripping it all to pieces, sanding it down, masking it off, buying new wings.
Engines!
Would have never bothered.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
As Marius says. Oh my god!
That's your boyfriend at work.
Boyfriend?
I mean your friend at work.
Who's a boy? Friend who's a boy? Charlie.
So I'm getting a bit jealous.
So there's no turbo on this, there's no intake, and there's no exhaust manifold.
What fucking good is that?
And there's no injectors actually, because I had them out. So this is my old Mark II engine that had a new head on it and all sorts. Just put it off.
You know what? Yeah, I could have just done that.
Could have just done that, eh? And I robbed the injectors out so I could take them to rebuild, and so I could get essentially a new set in mine whilst I still had it on the road. And then I had the ported intake, ported turbo and all that, and I sold that last summer.
Hey lad, look at this.
Oh aye. Is it been melted to the engine from the bonfire?
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I want to cover it up back afterwards, Charlie.
What?
I want to cover it back over afterwards. It's a good engine.
Is that your original engine?
Yeah. It's the Mark II OG electronic pump, or what was electronic pump.
It don't even look that great now, does it?
Alright, alright. You was all for it a minute ago.
Yeah, well it looked good in pictures.
You looked at it the other day, didn't you?
No. We've not had this cover off at all.
You must have.
No.
You must have.
We've not had this cover off, man.
What engine did we have? That's the Mark I loom on it, so I could crank it over to check compression whilst it was on the stand. Yeah, well, you best get a fucking rag on that.
Did you lacquer it?
Yeah, I lacquered it. Yeah, look, it's still half decent. I took all the casting marks out of it. Oh yeah, she's pretty.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got all white shit on it and stains.
Yeah.
Just switch it. It's not hard. It's not hard. Don't lose any of the shit though. Don't lose any of the shit. Need to slap a bit of grease on the plywood as well. Look. Plywood's getting rusty in places.
That's what wire brush is for, isn't it?
Yeah, but we like to preserve it so we don't have to do as much wire brushing. Charlie's in the, you know, high society now. Look at that, swanky. So that's on. EGT probe has got to be routed, but that's not an MOT requirement.
Yeah, I might just drill it through so it's out of the way.
And maybe a grill and a front bumper.
Do I need a grill?
Not for MOT, I don't think. No, as long as there's no sharp edges.
I'm just waiting for my grill.
From who?
Oh, from some clueless moron.
That's it. I'm packing it in. What's this?
Ah, yeah,
Some ball joint spacers that we haven't put in yet.
Shit. Yeah, we need to put them in.
Yeah, we do need to do that.
Do they need to be in for... We don't need them for MOT. Well, they're not going to affect anything, are they?
They'll affect the alignment.
Oh, right, yeah, we want to put them in first.
Yeah. And look at these, look. 3-inch drop, stainless rad brackets I made Charlie. I'm going to put them on the truck. So they take the original grommet, obviously, and then they just go one-handed, something like this, like that. Bolt it up. It does pay to put a bit of grease on these because sometimes these studs do snap off on the front support. But yeah, Charlie's put his on, and obviously being stainless they're not going to rust, so winner winner. Nice one. And we got a 4-cut just for the sake of it. That's the original glut, that's how high they sit. And these obviously sit lower, so the originals are going to be right up here somewhere like that, you see? Yeah, about there. Alright, so you didn't see the finish last night because the camera ran out of battery. I know, that was it. I was going to bleed the brakes, and I said, fuck that, we'll just do it Sunday. So taking her for MOT on Sunday, so that's going to be good. Finally get her out the field. She's been a while. Don't get me wrong, it's cool doing it, but you always worry with projects, like, oh, is it ever going to get finished? So yeah, I'll take a video Sunday when we take her to MOT, maiden voyage. I'm gonna have to get the tracking somewhere close because she's scrubbing like fuck. She's, you know, looking like a boss-eyed Bill. So we'll wind the tracking somewhere close by eye and just get Stuart to do it.